glad to be here. I'm sorry I will be able to address a press conference much later, but I'm glad to be home. Will you find out? Are you going to find me? I have come to continue exactly where I stopped. I am going to fight on, and like I said, we must get our freedom or we shall die trying to get our freedom. People power, our power, people power.
Nja kubanyumiza naye documentary yeetaaga mugirabyeko. Sijja kusobola nnyo okukola video mpanvu naye documentary enyuma mugirabiddeko. Sold out. Sinema yonna ejjudde bazungu okusinga. Yonna yonna eno waggulu gye tuli. Naffe tuli eno mu documentary wajjudde obwagazi Bobi Wine bw'alina nange leero nzikiriza.
No leader has ever handed over power peacefully to another in the history of our country.
Nja kubanyumiza edda.
It's a consequence of gun law. This is a military regime.
Situka tugende. Powa tugenda. Malaka. Siamo wano. Tisituka tutambule. Abazungu bawagira nzikiriza. People power kuntiko. Yeah. People power. Our power. People power. People power. Sold out.
omukisa guno tali kufuna Molandi abantu bagamba okolichi
anti Bobi Wine tagenda kudda enkya
the last supper
ate kati bano abafunye omukisa gamba ate ffe abalidde naye ddina people power luva kulaba documentary naye abaana bakwata documentary ya Bobi Wine kugambye bw'olaba documentary eno weeyongera okwagala enkyukakyuka weeyongera okwagala enkyukakyuka omanyi leero tubadde ne Bobi ne tulya ddina n'atubuulira ebintu bingi nnyo kati so ne tujja ne wano agenda kujjaawo kati agenda tuulaawo waffe tudde no mu VIP waggulu agenda kujjaawo ku katebe awo olaba awo kumpi ne screen agenda kujja kati abuze ku bantu kantereeze n'essimu eno kentereeze essimu tubadde n'ekibanda awo simu kati maze ogitereeza ku gundi awo katulinde Bobi tulabe ajja ayogere then mujja kuba mulaba ki nja kuba muwuliriza naye nga documentary ennungi nnyo abaana abafunye omukisa namwe mujja kgenda musobola okuba nga mugiraba very nice ndabye ebintu bingi nnyo bye tutaalaba ate batulaga campaign byonna will it premier National Geographic yakoze eki our power NUP Bobi agenda kujjaawo mumulindeemu kayala abadde naye ne Lubongeya ne Danny Magic everything was really good era asanyuse nnyo n'atuzaamu amaani ebigambo bibyo biggwayo then tusobole okuba nga musobola okulaba ani Bobi ajja atuwa obubaka nabagamba ebintu ffe twabikyusa content ffe abamulina ndiyo life yayina content tetukyagira kiziro tutudde ne Lubongeya ne tuli emmere ne Danny Magic ne Bobi Wine n'alyoka atuzaamu amaani n'atugamba temupowa. It was really very nice. Okitegedde wenyini wagenda okujjaawo.
Yeah, it was a film leaving us in indignation, disgust, but also in admiration. And therefore we're very honored. And we're proud and we're also very excited that tonight we have here the guy who risked his life making this film. Christopher Sharp, please come to the fore. I'm so excited that he's here. You've already seen him. Bobi Wine.
I love you. Chilando, love you. Olabi bino sibya kwogera boogezi kibanda wuyi president
walk up these stairs and being in seemingly such good spirit. How are you? How have you been this year?
I'm alive.
But have things changed ever since Christopher stopped filming?
Yeah, they've changed. They change every day for the worse. Just today, it made 8 days since another of my bodyguard was abducted and 7 other people. So every day it gets worse and worse. But we get stronger every day.
Stronger in spirit or also in support? How can you tell about the support?
In every way, every day we realize that our only option is to get strong, you know, so we get stronger because we get more desperate. We see less to lose, but more to gain every day.
Yeah, Christopher, we could see under what conditions you've been filming this. And I just couldn't stop wondering how on earth could you actually, shoot this film?
Making a film is a massively collaborative, as many filmmakers I'm sure are here. It's a massively collaborative occupation, and there were many, many people. You know, the directors often end up getting my co-director can't be here. He is Moses, in America. He's actually seeking asylum because he's Uganda, and after this film there's no way he can go back to Uganda. But so many people put themselves out to make this film, and the footage came from many, many different extremely brave people. Unfortunately, in Uganda, journalists and cameramen get no special treatment. There's not such a thing as if someone's seen as a press or a journalist, they're protected. Many, many people filming got injured. Moses actually got shot in the face at one point, and there's many, many cameramen, some whose footage we used, who were on the campaign trail in the thick of it with Bobi and the team, who suffered really, really terrible things. So this film is really a tribute to all of those people and all of the Ugandans, and there's lots of people we couldn't credit in the film because it would be, they're still in Uganda, it would be unsafe for them. So it's a massively collaborative effort.
Did you come to a point that you considered you had to stop filming because of you were putting people at risk?
Yeah, I mean, very, very much so, but it's almost felt like I grew up in Uganda. I was born in Uganda, and I had a special love for the country. And it just felt like we couldn't stop. We would be letting people down. And whatever we went through, whatever the filmmaking team went through, was nothing compared to what people in Uganda have gone through. There's people in Uganda, just by having the slightest association, it might be a sticker on your motorbike, it might be wearing a red t-shirt. Any association with Bobi and his team puts you at massive risk. So people are daily sacrificing. So as filmmakers, we certainly didn't feel that we could not carry on filming. We had to carry on filming because we were taking far less risks by a long way than Bobi and all of the Ugandans who really
movie we did that. This is a speech.
You've been working under incredible conditions we've been seeing. What about Bobi and the kids? Are they still coping, or how do they cope?
Bobi and the kids have been an amazing pillar of support to me. They continue to be.
They were premiering.
Maybe I won't stand as firm as I am if I'm firm. There's so much about Bobi that is not in the movie. Just like there's so much brutality that was kept out. In fact, at one point I was asking Chris, why did you decide to make this film so clean because we thought that it was an opportunity to show the world how brutal it can be. But he guided that if we show too much violence, you know, it might even disgust people and doesn't get the viewership that we hope to get. So this is not even a fraction of the violence that happens there. But Bobi has been a source of support for me and the children. They are still there. They are used to it. Not that it does not affect them, but you know, it's the reality they know. Yeah.
Yeah, Christopher, when we spoke before, you said when Bobi saw the film for the first time, he said to you, "My God, why did you just leave out all the violence?" Well, we just saw the film.
He actually said, "Why did you make Museveni look so good?" I was a bit shocked by that. No, I mean, what happened was we spent 2.5 years in the cutting room, and we looked at cutting this film many, many different ways. We filmed people who had been tortured in medieval ways. We filmed people who had had their fingers chopped off. We filmed the most awful, awful suffering. And at various points we had more of it in the film. But ultimately, I think you can just get to the point where it's just too much. And we decided as filmmakers that the film would be far more powerful if you saw the whole thing through Bobi and Barbie and those close to them. If you felt their pain, it would relate far more than just seeing a catalogue of horror. But the one thing I can assure you, that catalogue of horror is there, and it's pretty awful.
Bobi, at a certain point when you're in Washington and you're being interviewed by a TV journalist, she asks you, in case you do become president someday, we all hope, how do you prevent not becoming like the guy that you are fighting, she was asking you. And then you said to her, we've got to empower the people. I fear that as well, I've got to empower the people. And then I thought, okay, empowering the people, that's like 10 points. But then, what about ruling a country? Because we're looking at a country, I've also lived there. I know it is a rotten country if it comes to bureaucracy and how it is governed. It's like 3 decades of corruption, of stealing ministers. Yeah, it's like the crony elite. How could you change such a system?
Thank you. It's true that looking at Museveni, General Museveni, who was one time a favorite to so many of us admired General Museveni, the younger version of him. So looking at what he has become now, it scares us and proves to us that anybody can get corrupted. So our trust is not in individuals, and we're not trying to build individuals, not even myself. We believe in building institutions that will hold all of us accountable. And we can only do that when we do it together. So that any leader that rises after General Museveni is accountable to the people and is held accountable by those institutions which cannot be, you know, subjected to human greed and human corruption. Yeah.
Bano bonna nno bazungu Uganda baaganye okujja okuwagira.
If you look at the situation in Uganda now, it is quite depressing. If you look at the state of public education, the state of public health, all those systems are bankrupt. You also think about that. Why is education so expensive? Only if you've got plenty of money, you can buy a good education for your child. So where would you then, I mean, imagine you do get power, where would you start? How do you rebuild back what has been broken down?
First of all, like we say, it's not about an individual to rebuild it. But first of all, to take power, absolute power, out of the hands of an individual. That will change so much. Today, all the budget, all the preoccupation of the Ugandan government is keeping power, not improving lives, not improving service delivery, but keeping power. That is the focus. And once we change the focus, once we know that a leader will come and go, then whichever leader comes will seek to leave a good legacy, will seek to appease the people through service delivery, through better governance, so that the people who actually have the power can always really trust that leader or that party
people
or that
power encourage
power. So ultimately to take power back in the hands of the people, so that a leader has to appease the people by doing better and creating a better Uganda, so that that leader will always be reappointed by those people.
In the film, you ask the question, you say, do Western donors who are putting so much money into this government, are they actually seeing what is happening? It's very unlikely that they don't know. So how, Christopher, because you're looking at this as well, how do you explain that still like millions, maybe billions of dollars are poured into a country that is like such a clear and brutal dictatorship?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I found particularly depressing is you make the film and there's a fair amount of press and everyone's coming out in the New York Times, the Washington Post, so everyone's coming out and saying how awful this is, and journalists, and you have the American government saying they're concerned, and you have the European government saying they're concerned. And then the election passes and the Minister of Great Britain tweeted, I congratulate. And then very quickly after that, everything's forgotten and it's business as normal. I mean, the West is millions. Bobi says in the film, Americans give over 100 million. In fact, it's over $1 billion. The European Union gives huge amounts of money. And the reason this happens is it's very convenient.
Bobi huyo Kyagulanyi huyo atudde amulaba Kyagulanyi.
In Somalia, in Congo, and he's considered to be someone who does some work for our interests. But the cost of that is the cost to Ugandan people. The cost is to 44 million people, and it really, really is tragic that our interests are put before people like the Ugandan people, and it goes so quickly, it just goes back to
Bobi Wine musajja wa maani.
So you're saying he's considered an ally for European and other international players. What is needed, Bobi, for the international community to no longer sacrifice the interests of the Ugandan people and choose actually what is needed to change that attitude?
I want to sound polite, but that comes at the risk of sounding politically correct. I would rather sound real. And if I was to be real, I would say what is needed is to stop the hypocrisy.
Olaba abazungu bawaga.
To stop being partners in crime. Like I said, this is awful, but it's not even 1% of the crime that General Museveni is committing on the people of Uganda. And we are united together, first and foremost, as members of the international community, by values that hold together, values of democracy, respect for the rule of law, and respect for human rights. When Saddam Hussein did what General Museveni is doing to the people of Uganda, he was sanctioned. When Robert Mugabe did to the people of Zimbabwe what General Museveni is doing to the people of Uganda, was sanctioned. When Charles Taylor did the same, when Gaddafi did the same, was sanctioned. Why then is General Museveni not being sanctioned? All that General Museveni is doing is up there for the international community to see. We are trying to go by the values of non-violence. We are many. We are armed. We can choose to be violent, but because we know Those is not part of the values that the world holds together. Why is the moral international community supporting what is immoral? These are seen as big democracies, the democracies in Europe. Why are they not supporting democracy? Why are they supporting dictatorship? So let them stop sponsoring tyranny in Uganda.
I assume this
power
could help getting people to see what is really happening. Are you making sure the film gets access also to politicians, for example? Will it be screened in the European Parliament or such a thing?
Yeah, I mean, we're hoping two things happen. One, we're hoping that the people in the West, people in the developed world, understand what's going on in Uganda. And secondly, we want to give hope to the people of Africa. You know, so many people in Africa have suffered under tyranny. And when you have someone like Bobi and Bobi and David and Nubian and all these people who stand up, and they are African heroes. They really are African heroes. And I think it's great for Africa to have visible heroes.
And then Bobi, like last elections 1.5 years ago, probably if Museveni falls down dead, his son is there to be his successor. How will you move ahead from here?
How will we move ahead from here? We'll fight. We are not going to stop fighting. We are not going to fight violently, at least not yet. We are going to continue using the tools that we have. First and foremost, we are very glad that along the way we met up with people like Chris that helped us, you know, bring the plight of the people of Uganda on the world stage. We want to continue challenging the international community because we know that if it was not the support of the international community, this would not happen in Uganda. And if Europe and America wants this to stop, it will stop. But if they don't want it will stop. Right now, we don't even have the guts to talk about an election because we just saw an election made in hell. So we will continue creating as much awareness as possible. We know that without bringing it on the world stage, slave trade would not end. But by exposing it, it ended. We know that colonialism would not end if it was not exposed. By exposing it, it ended. We know that one day, it might take a lot of time, it might take a lot of lives, but one day dictatorship will stop. Maybe, just maybe, the West will feel ashamed of the hypocrisy and it will stop. And it will end.
Yeah.
You say we fight back non-violently. We saw you doing that also when being arrested. But you said we won't use violence, not yet. What will be like? Where is the border? Where is the boundary? Where you say now we have no other choice than using violence?
We're not saying we. While we, and that means me and the team that I lead, we strongly believe in non-violence. But every day I get scared that a time will come when I can no longer control the oppressed people of Uganda. And I fear that time. I hope that it does not come. But I can no longer guarantee it anymore because even while we are non-violent, we are responded to with brute force. We will continue being non-violent, but we are losing justification of stopping those that want to liberate themselves and want to liberate themselves by any means necessary.
You can't control the masses after a certain point. Then Bobi, finally bringing us back to where it all started. Are you still making music?
Yeah, I'm still making music. Although as we stand now, my music is banned in Uganda.
It is banned?
Yeah, my music is
from
banned.
the radios?
From the radios and the TV stations, and also my concerts are abolished. I cannot be seen, or my music, just playing my music, gets people arrested, some tortured, and all that goes with it. However, I still do music thanks to social media. My music is still listened to on social media, and I still use music to pass messages.
Yeah, we've seen how strong that is, of course. No other presidential candidate has ever had that much swag, so that's fantastic. Well, listen, I think we all wish you to, gain and conquer that victor's crown. So don't give up, and we hope to see you back, but also see you like.
Thank you. Just one more thing. While the light is shown on me, it is not just me. I'm just a representation of so many young men and women out there. And present here today, I traveled with my producer, my brother Dan Magic. Is in I also came with my brother, David Lewis Lubongoya. He's also in the house.
Hip-hop power.
I should share this life with them. They are amazing human beings.
Thank you. Well, finally, Christopher Sharp, thank you very much for being here and for also screening and giving this stage to this African hero. And then finally, give a final huge applause to our African hero, Bobi Wine.
Bazze bawagidde tuliyambale ngule.
Alright, let me also, I almost forgot to recognize another brother. He's an award-winning writer. He faced torture at the hands of General Museveni's son, and he ran out of Uganda.
Kankwenza mpozi naye waali. Kankwenza naye waali awo. Uli. Kankwenza uli wansi. Uyo. Bino byo bulijjo muli mu muzannyo n'omusajja alina amasannyalaze. Ono omusajja alina amasannyalaze. Tukkiridde wansi kati. Ffe twalidde naye ddina yatuyise n'agamba tujje tulye ddina. So ffe tetulina gundi. Katukkirire bannange. Tuddeyo tumusiibule tumale tugende nnyina kubanyumiza ebinaddirira. Kyayo onyumiddwa?
It has been a very wonderful day. Having a dinner, the last supper. Dinner was nice.
Yatu invite nze ne tuhavinga dinner, which is really very good. Bayi mwe katuddemu. Invite anti. Yes. Invite tebagula manyanga gundi VIP. VIP tebagula ngule. Yeah. Sorry. Bana katukkirire tugenda